5.3b, we're going to continue looking at modified box and whisker plots. So here is some data. I noticed by reading this that we have 50 shoppers, so there's 50 pieces of data. And this is the amount of money they spent. And let's read this note. There are 10 data values in each row, so we have a 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, so that's 50. And the data has already been arranged. So we're already arranged from lowest to highest. So that's good. So the first thing we're going to do is find the median, D1, Q1, and Q3. So let's go ahead and find the median. For our depth, we use our n plus 1 divided by 2. We have 50 data points. And then so we have 50 plus 1 divided by 2. 51 over 2 is 25.5th number. So, see, this is 10 numbers, 20 numbers, 25.5. So it's right here. This is where our median is. So that means we take the average of the 25th and 26th. 20 plus 20 divided by 2 is 40 over 2 is 20. That's our median. All right, so let's go ahead and find Q1. We're finding for Q1, we're finding the middle of these 25. So I can use this again, but this time I'm finding the depth of 25 numbers. So 25 plus 1 divided by 2, that's 13. So what's the 13th number? This is 10 numbers, 11, 12, 13. This is Q3. If you want, another strategy you can use is we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is our 14th, number 14. We can use the same idea here. For Q3, we're finding the middle of the second half. So here's 25. So what's our 13th number in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Again, you can just kind of use your fingers to go if you want. All right. Go ahead and check for any outliers. Pause the video so the students can have time to check the outliers. Now that you've had time, just as a reminder to check the outliers, we do 1.5 times the IQR. And then we take our Q3 plus this number and our Q1 minus that number. So our IQR is 34 minus 14, that's 20. 1.5 times 20 is 30. 34 plus 30, 14 minus 30, I get 64 and negative 16. These are our fences. So we're looking between negative 16 to 64, which means we look, 68 is outside of 64 and 72. Let's go ahead and make our box and whisker plot. I have my median at 20, Q1 at 14, Q3 at 34, I have an outlier at 68 and at 72. Let's go ahead and write these numbers here also. So 68 is an outlier. What's my next one? 64, so that's where my maximum goes. It's a really long whisker. And my smallest is 2. And there's my, oh, you can't see the 2. There's my modified box and whisker plot. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next 2 examples. I want you to add a last box here for same and same. Okay. Let's go ahead and read this. Suppose I own 301 collectibles priced between $50 and $500. So this is what we own. I buy one priced at $40. What happens to each of these? So let's think about this. I added a lower amount to my group. So if I add a lower amount, should the mean increase or decrease? We don't know, or stay the same. The mean should decrease because it's lower, so it's going to bring it down more. What should happen to the median? Well, we now have 302 items, but we don't know. In the middle, we could have a lot of the same number, so it couldn't really change, it could increase. We don't really know. We would need to look at all the data. For the mode, now the mode is the value happens most often. So did adding in something with $40 really change that at all? We don't have anything worth $40, so the mode is going to stay the same. And then for standard deviation, remember that's the measure of our spread, how far apart our data is. We were between 50 and 500, now we're between 40 and 500, so that has increased. So now, what happens if instead of adding a lower amount, what happens if we add a higher amount? Go ahead and make your guesses or answer the question. Since I've added a higher amount, our mean should stay the same because we've added more. We still can't determine the median because we don't know what numbers are in the middle. We didn't have an item of $900 to begin with, so our mode will stay the same. We'll still have the same number of the most often. And then now we're between 50 and 900 instead of 50 and 500, so our standard deviation has gotten bigger, and so it's increased.